Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Growing tired of knots, tangled up in problems, and not caring enough. Now I'm on a journey to find what's right, always telling the truth.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I don't give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Jeff
Doing about time.
San Diego. It's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What in the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann.
Hey, welcome everybody to Sports World Radio. Glad everybody could be with us today. We got a jam-packed show for you guys. Lots and lots and lots to get to. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride here on Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, bringing you the best of sports talk on the internet. Glad everybody could be with us today. Let's get all the particulars out of the way. Head on over to SportsWorldRadio.com, listen to us over there, or head on over to Spreaker.com, Spreaker, and come on over and hang out in our chat room with us over here on Spreaker. Okay? If you don't have an account, it's free. So sign up for a free Spreaker account and type in Sports World Radio and come on in and hang out in the chat room with us. For everybody else listening to us over there on SportsWorldRadio.com, for over on GoodandPlentyRadio.com, for over on BeerMan.com, over there, PhillyBeerMan.com over there as well, and also Honest Answer Radio as well. Thank you all so much for listening to Sports World Radio. We really appreciate it. If anybody wants to get in touch with the show and you have Skype, head on over to SportsWorldRadio.com. Click the little red icon on the left-hand side, and you'll be directed right to the show for Skype users. For non-Skype users, you could call 619-663-3715. That's 619-663-3715 is the number to get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. Like us over there at Facebook, over at facebook.com/Sports World Radio, and also our Twitter page at twitter.com/Sports World Radio. Now, with all the particulars out of the way, what do you say? Hey, we bring in that co-host of ours, Sean Mann, the update man. What's going on there, buddy?
Hello, Jeff, and good afternoon and good evening. Right now it's 6:06 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 3:06 p.m. on the West. It is Tuesday, June 24th, 2014. Weather right now, a little cloudy, but it is kind of cool today, like 73, 74. It's really cool out. How are you, Jeff, and how's the weather down there in San Diego, bud?
Beautiful. Why shouldn't it be? It's gorgeous out here. It's sunny San Diego. And speaking of sunny San Diego, our good friend Jazzy Jeff is in the house, in the chat room hanging out with us, and he's going to be coming into San Diego on Saturday night.
Congrats there, Jazzy Jeff, and good to see you, bud. Long time no see. I'm glad you're going to hang out with Jeff and do some shows with us.
Yeah, I spoke to him.
The Encyclopedia Man, Dr. Myth.
I spoke to him yesterday on the phone, in fact, and he says, man, can I come and do some shows with you? I said, yeah, sure. He goes, you do 5 days? I go, 5 days a week? He might be here all 5 days, man.
Terrific.
How about that, Sean, huh? You might be here all 5 days, huh? and another bulletin. Me and the old man and the little sister are all going to the Padres game Saturday night to get fedora hats.
Well, good for you guys.
That?
Have a good time with that.
We're going to go to the Padre game Saturday night. I'm going to pay my respects to Mr. Tony Gwynn while I'm there at the statue. I might, you know what else I might even do? I was thinking about
selfie.
Oh, I'm not going to be taking no selfie. My sister's going. She's going to be taking a picture of me with my fedora hat on, right next to the Tony Gwynn hat, right next to the Tony Gwynn statue with the fedora hat on my head. You guys are going to love that picture, and she's going to put it right on Facebook right away. I'm also going to go pay my tribute to Mr. Tony Gwynn. I'm going to go see my mom's brick. And we're gonna, because my mom has a brick there. When they built Petco Park, we bought a brick and had it engraved, and it was put right into Petco Park. So we're going to go see the brick and all that. We're going to take a picture of that. We'll post that for you guys on Facebook as well on Saturday night. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then after the game on Saturday night, I'm going to come home, and Mr. Jazzy Jeff should be getting into town. As I arrive home, maybe I'll be home a little after he gets into town, and I'm going to call his ass up and have his ass come on over because I know he's going to want to come over.
Good for you.
So I'll probably see Jazzy Jeff after the game Saturday night, and he'll get to check out the fedora hat. Hey, what's up there? Look at that. We got Double A in the house, otherwise known as TCB, otherwise known as Craig. So, yeah, Jeff will be the new spokesman for Taco Bell when he wears that hat. You guys are going to love me in that hat, man. A nice San Diego fedora hat. Come on, man. That hat looks bitchin'. Have you seen the hat, Sean?
No, I don't think I have.
You haven't seen the hat?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so. And I'll be waiting to see what you have on Facebook Saturday night.
This is what I want you to do, Sean. Right now. This is what I want everybody who's listening to the sound of my voice right now. Go to, if I'm correct, go to San Diego Padres. SanDiegoPadres.com. Head on over to SanDiegoPadres.com. And if I am correct, the little fedora hat, you'll get to see the hat on the right-hand side of the page. You'll see the hat. It'll pop up there for you. You get a little picture.
Oh, I see it right there. There it is.
There's the hat, my friend, right there.
There's the fedora. I see
That's
it.
the fedora hat right there, my friends. That's right.
San Diego Padre, every fan gets a fedora hat.
You like
Jeff
that, huh? You like that, huh? So, yeah, we're going to go check out the San Diego Padres on Saturday night. I'm going to do my little, and you know what I'm going to do, Sean? This is the what should I say? The sports radio guy in me. You know what I'm going to do Saturday night while I'm at the game?
What is that?
I'm going to take my little mini transmitter, my little recorder that I have, my little voice recorder that I have.
Yeah.
And I'm going to walk up to fans that are putting flowers and doing what their thing on the Tony Gwynn statue, right?
Right on. That's showing class there.
And then I'm going to interview fans. I'm going to ask them their thoughts and their, what they thought about Tony Gwynn and their their best memories of Tony Gwynn, So I'm going to interview fans while I'm out there for the radio show, and then I'm going to bring it back to the radio show and play it on Monday.
That's a marvelous idea.
You like that? See? So when I go out to the people, I'm going to interview the people, and we're going to get their opinions and their thoughts and their best moments of Tony Gwynn from a fan's point of view. You like that, huh?
It's a nice idea.
Yeah, so we're going to bust that out on Monday. I'm going to be doing that on Saturday as long as I don't get busted with the recorder. So we're going to have that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to going to the game on Saturday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Me and my fedora hat.
Ready for a story 12 minutes after the hour?
12 minutes after the hour, we'll get to our first story, huh?
Yeah, before we get to our first commercial break.
And I've been warned by our producer.
I have been warned, too, by our producer.
About you today. I've been warned by our producer about you.
Producer, I'm going to kick your butt right after the show. Whatever the heck you've been telling Jeff, get out of here.
That's right. He told me we could talk about this topic, but we can't stay on this topic very long.
I have no intention to. I think we should wait until Frank comes in for the second hour.
To talk about it?
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. But actually, you know what? I think you might be wrong because if we do that, then we'll end up talking about it for the whole hour because you know how Frank is.
Hey.
Frank's a windbag.
We have to hear Frank's perspective on that story. I think you all know exactly
even
what
if we
Jeff
talk
and I are
about
getting
this,
at.
even if we talk about the story in the first hour, he's going to want to talk about the story in the second hour because he's a windbag.
Well, I tried Skyping him. I wonder if he's taking a nap.
Well, he needs a nap. After all the talking he does, man.
No, this has nothing to do with the big story that's coming out of Miami. This is in the NBA, however, and the report is Chicago Bulls' Tom Thibodeau reached out to former coaches of Carmelo Anthony.
No
If
kidding.
Carmelo Anthony opts out of the final year of his
already
contract,
did.
which he has,
Mm-hmm.
and as expected, and chooses to pursue free agency in earnest, there is no likelier a landing spot for him than the Chicago Bulls. And I know Encyclopedia Man and Frank will all be happy.
Okay.
Those two will be very happy if they get Melo to the Bulls.
Okay, shut the hell up already. Okay? Listen to me. I'm only going to say this once. I heard an interview yesterday with Carmelo Anthony. This interview was done June 3rd. Okay, it's just coming out now. I can't remember where I heard it or seen it or whatever. In the interview, Carmelo Anthony says there's a lot of things to consider about moving. I have to take into consideration my kid in school. Is it fair moving him out of a school and moving him to a new place where he's got to make new friends? And do I want to put him through all that? Is it a place that I want to live for the next 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 years? Carmelo Anthony isn't looking at next year. He's looking at the next 5, 6, 7 years down the road. So with that being said, by him, he's not looking at next year. He's looking for a place where he can be in 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years down the road. Is that Chicago? Is that Miami? Is that LA? Is that Houston? Or is that New York? Which team is it?
We'll talk more about this story after our first commercial break.
Sports World Radio.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to Workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, hanging out with you each and every Monday through Friday here on Sports World Radio. 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West, and if you live in the Central,
figure that out for yourself.
Holy cannoli, you came out proud with that one today.
Yeah.
I like that. Finally, you came out proud. All right, so I said the 5 teams. Personally, I don't think he's ending up in Houston. I don't think he's ending up in Dallas. I don't think he's ending up in L.A. Okay? I put those teams down. I think there's only 3 teams that are possible for him to go to. In my eyes. In my eyes
and Anthony
only.
said there's like a few teams, and that's a good idea, Jeff. And here's what he said. Anthony would only let the Knicks for as close to a sure thing as possible, considering it was cost him an extra year of security and in the neighborhood of $30 million to do so. So I agree. It's going to be like 2 or 3 choices for his teams.
But you got to understand, he's not looking at next year. He's looking past next year. He's looking 3, 4, 5 years down the road. That's what he's looking at. And you want to know something? You people know me, and you people aren't going to believe what's going to come out of my mouth. But Sean's going to freak out that I'm going to say this. Okay? And I said it yesterday. I don't even think Phil Jackson wants him on the team.
I think Phil Jackson is right. I think he's trying to say, I don't know if he could handle my strategy of the triangle offense. Maybe he needs to go with a different offensive
I don't
system.
even think that, Sean. I think that Phil Jackson wants to start off a clean slate, his own team. So he can't do nothing. So quietly he's, listen, if he really wanted Carmelo Anthony, don't you think he'd be pushing a lot harder than he is?
I believe so. And here's a story that the Encyclopedia Man sent to me today. Phil Jackson needs Carmelo for the long term. Phil Jackson was right when he said Carmelo Anthony's best move was to suit up for the New York Knicks next season. To opt in other words, and spend the year feeling out Jackson's program before the team president pushed him to take less than max money in free agency while courting LeBron James. Under that scenario, Anthony would have earned $23.5 million on a test drive with rookies Jackson and Derek Fisher, who would have discovered that Melo ball is compatible with the team's centric principles governing the triangle offense. It shaped up as a win-win designed to create all kinds of salary cap flexibility next summer, except for one thing. Anthony has decided to opt out of his contract, as we all know, by Monday's deadline. Just like the time he forced his way from Denver to New York in February of 2011, Melo prefers to be paid sooner rather than later.
Okay, so if he's going for the money, there's only one place he can get the most money at.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If he's going for the money, there's only one place he can get the most money at, and that's the Knicks. If he's not going for the money, then he'll go anywhere he wants. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, what was it like down there in San Antonio when the Spurs won the NBA Finals?
Yeah, congratulations there, Jazzy Jeff, on the San Antonio Spurs.
We'll get him. You know what? We'll get him on when we get him on the show on Monday. When he's here Monday, we'll have him talk about that.
Because that's got to be our real big thing where you're at there, Jazzy. And, of course, I remember a few years ago in 2011 when Dallas beat Miami. Jazzy, I think, was with Jeff, and we did a show together, and we talked all about the Mavericks. I remember that. And even Shocker came on the air because Shocker lives in Big D.
Yeah. He opted out. How can he come back to New York? Because he can sign a 5-year deal with the Knicks for $120-some-odd million freaking dollars. That's why.
I believe it's $129 million. That would be the maximum deal there, Encyclopedia Man. Now, if he decides less money, that would be $96 million with the team for less money.
Well,
other than New York.
Other than New York, right. So he's leaving all that money on the table, but he can only sign a 40-year deal with anybody else. He can only sign a 5-year deal with the Knicks. If he goes anywhere else, he can only sign 4 years for $96. He signs with the Knicks, he signs 5 for $129. Now, how crazy is that?
They have no money. They have cap issues. That's what the
okay. That's the kicker right there. That's the kicker. Right? He opts out and signs back with them. That's allowed. They're allowed to do that. That puts them right up with him coming back. That puts them up against the salary cap. If he doesn't come back, they got all sorts of money.
Which might just be fine if Phil Jackson is kind of thinking.
I don't think personally, I don't think Phil Jackson really wants him on the team. I think quietly in his office and in his thinkings, he's thinking about not having him on his team and going in the direction that he wants to go. Personally, I don't think Phil Jackson wants him, because if Phil Jackson wanted him, he would try harder.
If Melo leaves New York and Phil Jackson is fine with that, that just might be fine for the Knicks, because then they would have the money to go out and spend on some big free agents and get young players, because you don't want to rely on veterans. In order to win the NBA championship, you have to go young.
Someone wake me up when they talk about other fun sports like world soccer. I'll tell you something right now. You won't hear us talking about soccer on this freaking show. Boring!
Yesterday's show was pretty hysterical because when Nick came in, wow.
Boring!
Oh, Dr. Myth, cut it out. You would like soccer, too, because you live in the continent of
Soccer's
Europe.
boring.
So
I can't watch any free... Do you know they opened up the show with Mike and Mike talking about soccer again? It freaking pissed me off.
I would change channels and say I've had enough, because who cares about stinking World Cup soccer?
I sent them a nasty Twitter. I sent them a nasty tweet.
Jazzy, that's the way the Knicks would have to do it, bud. Think about it. If Melo is saying, I don't want to be here in New York, and Phil Jackson's okay with that, that's what the Knicks need to do. You can't just rely on old veterans. Think about
I said it yesterday on the show, and I'll say it again today. I could care less whether he stays or goes. I'm kind of like Phil in that boat. But Phil can't say it, so I'll say it for him. Phil doesn't care whether he stays or goes. If he goes, Phil's like, great, now I get to start from scratch with my people. This is not his team, Phil's team. This team is going to change drastically. This is not Phil Jackson's basketball team. This team is going to change so much, it's going to be ridiculous.
the best start for them after Jackson took over as president of the Knicks was getting rid of Mike Woodson. That was the best thing they had to do because Mike Woodson just doesn't have the coaching experience. Didn't do well in Atlanta, and he didn't do well with the Knicks, even though he took the Knicks to the second round last year when they were 54-28.
I'm not fond of Mike Woodson. I never have been fond of Mike Woodson, and you know that.
He's a joke.
I said they should have never hired him as the head coach. When they got rid of Dan Antonio, they should have went somewhere else. Dr. Miss says, no, Sean, I hate soccer so much, I'd rather be beaten to death by your chins. I like that, Mithy. That's great. No, Sean, I hate soccer so much, I'd rather be beaten by your chins. All 16,000 of them.
Bitch and moan about the chins. Bitch and moan.
I can guarantee you.
Wah, 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 wah.
I can guarantee you, Saturday, when you see me take a selfie with my sister's cam, you will not see no 16,000 chins. You will see a selfie the way it's supposed to be, dude, with me looking up at the sky going, hey, how you doing there, you prick?
Wah, wah, wah.
Not the way you take a selfie, looking down at the ground showing your 16 million chins, you rat bastard, you.
Bitch and moan, bitch and moan. That's what I hear from all of you people. Get over it.
Look at Josh. Those flaps are indestructible. That's great, Josh, our producer. Terrible. Our producer is giving it to Sean really good. Those flaps are indestructible. That's great. They are, man. If they are, you know what? They're not indestructible. If he looks up at the sky and stretches his neck out, those flaps are gone.
Wah, 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 wah. That's all I have to keep on hearing about those selfies in the 16,000. Holy cow, Dr. Myth. Sean, I've told you about how you be abused like a hooker's, but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
terrible. Whoa.
Like a hooker's V.
That's bad, Myth. That's cold.
Okay, hold on a second. We got somebody calling into the show. Let's see what's going on here.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Hello, Sports World Radio. You're on the radio.
Jazzy in the house. What's happening, brother?
I knew that was you. What's up, Jazzy Jeff? How are you, my friend?
Hey, I just had to get it straight with Sean. I understand the Knicks are rebuilding, and when you're rebuilding, you got to go young. Absolutely. What I'm saying is the Spurs don't rebuild. The Spurs reload, baby.
Hey, Jazzy Jeff, let me ask you a question. How happy are you for Kawhi Leonard, knowing that he's from San Diego and so are you?
I have a Kawhi Leonard jersey and a T-shirt. What's that tell you, brother?
How great is that, huh?
Unbelievable. 22 years old, grabbing the big trophy, grabbing the championship. The kid is just coming out of his skin with excitement. Unbelievable. This guy needs to demand at least $5 million a year. What do you think?
Well, he's got 1 year left on his rookie contract still.
Yeah, I know it, but the boy's going to come out and get paid.
Well, he can go to anybody and say, look, I want the money. I'm an MVP and finals guy. You got to pay me now.
Well, he's in a system with Popovich, and I think he's going to be a Spur for a long time to come. He's a new face of the franchise. We all know Duncan's coming back, but Kawhi Leonard with the Spurs, these guys are going to win another, if not 2 or 3 more championships, I promise you, in the next 10 years.
Can they repeat next year?
They can, and they just very will. You know, hey, it's a new year. We can only speculate at this point. I mean, we got a long time to even, opening day next year, NBA. But, hey, everybody excited in Central Texas. There's car flags. These guys hang car flags from all 4 windows. I mean, this part of the country, I said, hey, everybody acted like they've been there, but there's excitement. I don't care if somebody, wins 1, 2, or 3. There's going to be excitement. The place was buzzing. It was mayhem.
I bet you it was a lot of fun to be there, dude. I bet you it was a lot of fun to be there.
Hey, I sat on the floor. My girlfriend had seats on the floor, man. It's an incredible experience down there at the AT&T Center, man.
Wow. Hey, Jazzy Jeff, thanks for calling in, bud. We appreciate it.
You bet. I'll see you in a couple days, brother.
That's right. You bet. I'll see you Saturday night.
All right. Take care,
All right.
Take care, Jeff.
There you go. All right, there's our good friend Jazzy Jeff. We're going to run to a quick commercial break. You're listening to Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio, boys and girls. Glad everybody could be with us. Jeff Escow, Sean Mann, hanging out with you, having a good old time here at Sports World Radio. Lots to get to. Hey, if you want to give us a call like Jazzy Jeff did, 619-663-3715. 619-663-3715 is the number to give us a call here at Sports World Radio. And get on the air and hang out with us and tell us what's going on like Jazzy Jeff just did. Or if you got Skype, head on over to sportsworldradio.com. Click the little red button on the left-hand side that says Call Now, and you'll be directed right to the show for Skype users. How about them apples, Sean? Those are good apples.
Yes, they are. 34 minutes past the hour, June 24th, 2014. In other NBA news, Ray Allen has said that he had considered retiring, but instead he's coming back for a 19th consecutive year in the NBA.
Did I see that headline right, too, where he said, I'm gonna play wherever LeBron James plays?
Allen has a desire to continue playing alongside LeBron James. That's what it says.
You wuss.
Whom he developed a close relationship during their 2 seasons together in Miami.
Blah, blah.
Whether it is with the Heat or another team.
Blah, 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 blah. That's a bunch of malarkey right there. He just wants to win another championship.
James and Allen vacationed together last week after the Heat were beaten in the NBA Finals by the San Antonio Spurs. Of course, as you know, we'll talk about that in the second hour with Frank about James. Both James and Allen will be unrestricted free agents. Miami's Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh could choose to opt out as well. Neither has announced his plans. But yes, Ray Allen says, I'm 39 years old, July 20th of next month. I want to come back and play
39?
Probably one more year, and probably then he's going to say, I've had a good run. I've won 3 NBA championships.
39?
Miami, 39.
Jeez, he's old. Yes, they do. Well, he's old, man. 39? There's nobody older than him in the NBA, is there?
The last player to kind of play like between 37 and 39, that was when Jason Kidd was with your New York Knicks.
How old is Ginobili and Duncan?
I do not know. I can have the encyclopedia man look that up. Would you do that, bud, and just tell us how old Ginobili and Tim Duncan are, please?
Or find out who the oldest person in the NBA is for me, please. Josh.
Yeah, can you?
Thank you.
Yeah, do some research there, bud.
39.
Thanks.
That's kind of old to be playing. He'll be 40 in the NBA, right?
Yeah, he'll be 40 next year. So he's 39 years old next month, and he decides to come back for a 19th year.
Wow, that's crazy. Read what I said, Sean. What did you say?
This isn't basketball with friends.
And I said yes.
Yes, I understand. We were talking about who the oldest player in the NBA is, encyclopedia.
And he was talking about LeBron and Allen with that comment that he said. This isn't basketball with friends. What do they blow each other? And I said yes.
Yes.
Greg Oden 60? No, I don't think Greg Oden is 60. He might have 60 total points in his career, but I don't think he's 60.
He's a bust. Yeah.
Yeah, taking a bust next week. Didn't I ask Nicholas to do the top 10 busts or something? We should do that. We should do a top 10 list of the top 10 lists of the NBA busts.
I think it was like 10 or 15, like the bust of the NBA.
See you, Dr.
Players
Myth.
who just didn't make it. See you, Dr. Myth.
Top 10 list of NBA busts all time. That would be pretty cool. Steve Nash is 40.
Yes, that's okay. Thanks, their encyclopedia man. Yes, Steve Nash, 40 years old, and who knows if he is going to remain with the LA Lakers.
He didn't play a lot because he was hurt.
Yeah, he was injured along with Kobe Bryant.
He didn't play a lot because he was hurt. That team was terrible. That team's going to be terrible this year. They still don't have a head coach, right?
I have not heard anything about the Lakers having a new head coach.
They're the only team without a head coach, correct?
Correct, because they fired Mike D'Antoni.
They're the only team that doesn't have a head coach. Everybody's got one, right? Minnesota filled them with Flip Saunders. Everybody else has got a coach. Cleveland got freaking Blatt the other day.
Blatt, Steve Kerr went to the Golden State Warriors. Your
Right.
Knicks got Derek Fisher.
Uh-huh. So everybody's got a coach, correct? Except the Lakers, right?
Right. LA Lakers have not gotten themselves a coach.
And the draft is this Thursday, correct?
Thursday night on, I believe it's ESPN. That's at the Barclays Center, home of the Brooklyn Nets.
What time does that start?
I think it's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'd have to take a look.
Well, Josh, do me a favor. Find out, too. Jazzy Jeff says Byron Scott will be the coach of the Lakers. That's not a bad idea because he knows Kobe Bryant, and he has Lakers ties.
And, yeah, he has connections. He knows the LA Lakers very well.
Josh says he sent you a story about the Lakers, you rat bastard.
I am looking for it now. Here it is. We were going to get to that encyclopedia, man. Good Lord, hold your horses.
Well, he wants you to get to it, so get to it, you rat bastard.
We're going to get to it now. Nick Young has informed the LA Lakers that he will not pick up his player option and will become a free agent.
Big deal.
Young, 29, had a career last season, averaging a team-high 17.9 points for a Lakers team that finished 27-55. The Lakers have just 3 players under contract, Jeff, for next season.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, and Robert, I can't say that one, and have a team option to retain point guard Kendall Marshall for
so
$915,243.
So they have some money to play with, right? Plus they have the 7th pick in the draft, right?
Yes, and yes.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You are the Lakers. Do you go get Love from Minnesota? Give him the 7th pick and say we want Love? Would you do that?
That is possible.
Would you do that if you're Minnesota?
Oh, I don't know. Flip Saunders is
Would
trying
you
to do
do
whatever he can to keep Kevin Love in Minnesota.
Would you do that if you're the Lakers? Give up your first pick, number 7. You're in the first pick. Your first pick of the draft is number 7. That's a high pick. Is he worth that pick?
I don't know.
How many years has he been in the league?
Encyclopedia, man. Could you look that up for how long Kevin Love has been in the league?
Got a lot of work to do, Josh. I mean, he's still very young. The only thing is, does he sign an extension with the Lakers? Because you got to know that before you do it, right?
Right.
Because you're the Lakers, you're not just going to do it out of blind faith and pray that he signs a 4 or 5 year deal with you for $100 and something million, whatever the hell it is, right?
Right.
Does he want to play in L.A.? I mean, is he worth the 7th? Is he worth the 7th pick?
I think the Lakers.
I mean, come on, you don't even have but you don't even have a coach. You don't even know what the hell you're going to be doing. Don't you think you should have a coach before you start drafting?
I think they should have a coach, and this is ridiculous that the Lakers haven't even found a coach. 6 years.
I mean,
That's
how do
long
you draft players to a team that you don't know what the offense is going to be? How do you do that?
Search me.
Or does it or am I wrong and it doesn't matter who was there on the team? The coach can have them do whatever offense they want. Or because what that's really telling you is that it doesn't really matter. Whoever the coach is. The owners are going to pick the team they want, and the coach is going to have to fit to the players? That's not right, is it?
Not right at all.
Do the players fit to the coach, or does the coach fit to the players?
I believe it's got to be the coach that fits to the players.
You think it's the coach that fits? You think a coach should fit to the players, not the players fit to the coach?
Because the coach wants to make sure that you're running the correct offensive system.
I think the players should fit to the coach. It's the coach's team, right?
Right.
The players play the coach's offense, right?
Right.
So the players should fit to the coach.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I would say the players fit to the coach, learn the coach's system.
Right. So as a coach, you want to go into a team that has the kind of players you need to run your system, correct?
Correct.
So if you're picking at a draft that doesn't have a coach, how do you know what players to pick?
Very true.
That's a coinky dink, isn't it? That just makes you go, And on that note, we're going to run to a quick commercial. You're listening to Jeff Eskow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio, and it's time for an update.
Oh, that's right. We got an update. I do that all the time, don't I? I mess that up all the time at this update. Hey, this update is brought to you by shirtshopper.net. Get all your sports t-shirts, all your sports teams, all your novelty t-shirts. 4th of July is coming. Get your 4th of July t-shirts. Head on over to Head on over to shirtshopper.net. That's shirtshopper.net. Check them out. Great t-shirt place. All the updated t-shirts. I spoke to them the other day. They're getting ready to bang out all their sports shirts over there. They're getting ready to put up a bunch of novelty t-shirts. It's a cool website. Check it out, shirtshopper.net. In fact, I know they're getting ready to come out with their San Antonio Spurs 2014 championship shirts. So get ready for that, Jazzy Jeff. Shirtshopper.net. Check it out. This update is brought to you by shirtshopper.net. Take it away, Sean Mann, the update man.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, everybody. Welcome to the first of two updates here. 46 minutes past the hour, June 24th, 2014. We're going to start in Major League Baseball. In the American League, here's the games that we have for tonight. It'll be the White Sox at the Orioles, Yankees at the Blue Jays. Interleague play, it'll be the Pirates at the Rays. Back to the American League, it'll be the Tigers at the Rangers, and that game can be seen on MLB Network. Back to the interleague play, it'll be the Dodgers taking on the Royals. Braves taking on the Astros interleague play. Now back to the American League. Twins at the Angels and the Red Sox at the Mariners. We go to the National League. The Marlins are taking on the Phillies. Interleague play, it'll be the Athletics taking on the Mets. Back to the National League. Reds at the Cubs. Nationals at the Brewers. Cardinals at the Rockies. Interleague play, Indians at Diamondbacks. And finally, in the National League, the final game for Major League Baseball of this night, it'll be the Padres taking on the Giants. In the NBA, there's a lot of stuff that we have to get to. And the big headline and the big story today, LeBron James has decided to opt out of his contract. Does that mean we have a possible decision, too, where he goes on national television and just decides, I'm going to take my talents to so-and-so? Or will he end up right back in Miami and take less money to stay with the Heat, as Pat Riley is trying to do whatever he can to keep him there? Of course, other teams that are expressing interest in LeBron James, there's the Houston Rockets as a possibility, maybe the LA Clippers, maybe the Celtics, maybe the Mavericks, maybe the Clippers. The list goes on to figure out where this big name of the NBA goes to. Ray Allen has decided that wherever LeBron James goes, I will go with them. He has decided to sign and finish up a 19th year. He's leaning toward doing a 19th year in the NBA. Tim Duncan has decided to exercise his $10.3 million option with the Spurs. He's excited about that. And don't forget, LeBron James may possibly be a fit in San Antonio. So a lot of stuff going on for the NBA. The NBA draft, as we are continuing to count down, is 2 days away. And that can be seen on ESPN. We'll have the time for you so you all can follow on what's going to happen for the big moves in the NBA. In the NFL, sad news to report for Aaron Hernandez. Not actually sad news. His days continue to be rough. Hernandez gets a double murder trial set for 2015 as the guy who did all this murdering is going to be staying in jail pretty much the rest of his whole life. We're going to be right back after this commercial break. And remember, this update was brought to you by ShirtShopper.net.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Jeff Pascal, Sean Mann here, bringing you the fastest 2-hour of sports talk on the internet. Glad you could be with us today. All right, Sean, what do you got for me now, my friend?
We're going to go a little bit easy on the NBA until we get Frank in here. We go to the NFL. Sports betting in New Jersey still banned. How about this? In Atlantic City, New Jersey, the Supreme Court on Monday left in place a ban on sports gambling in New Jersey, rebuffing an attempt to bring betting on professional and college sporting events to Atlantic City casinos and the state's racetracks.
Really?
Yeah, they said the state's appeal was led by Governor Chris Christie. It argued that New Jersey was trying to limit illegal sporting wagering and capture some of that money for the state's treasury. New Jersey says an estimated, how about this, Jeff, $500 billion is bet illegally on sporting events each year.
I could see that.
Yeah, I can see that too, and there's more. The justices did not comment in letting stand lower court rulings that struck down New Jersey's sports betting law because it conflicts with the federal law that allowed state-sanctioned sports gambling only in Nevada and 3 other states. And I can agree with Nevada because where all this gambling happens, that's in Las Vegas because people put the bets on for sports all the time. I went and walked through Las Vegas in May of 2011, and then there was a lot of betting going on for the NBA playoffs at that time and the NHL playoffs.
You don't gamble, do you?
No, I don't, but I've seen, if you go to Vegas, they got it there. And I know, Jeff, you've been to Vegas, and you've seen all kinds of gambling there.
If you go to Vegas, you see it there. No, duh. That's what Vegas is all about.
Well, it's the gambling capital of the world. What do you expect?
Uh-huh.
There's underground betting. That I'll bet. That's what Frank says.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there is underground. Yeah, sure. People go underground to bet. You bet your tune.
But do you all agree with this? Do you think this is right of New Jersey to do this decision by Governor Christie?
Governor Christie can do whatever the hell he wants. He's the governor, for Jiminy Cricket's sakes. You know?
Voters in New Jersey overwhelmingly endorsed legal sports betting in a non-binding referendum in 2011. The state lawmakers soon enacted a law to allow for betting at tracks and in casinos. Bets wouldn't have been taken on games involving New Jersey colleges or college games played in the state.
And?
Point is that this was a big decision for them to make.
It's okay. Hey, it's a good decision.
Frank goes, Christie wants to be president in 2016.
You can gamble in a lot of states, dude. There's gambling in a lot of states. Jersey's just joining the fray now. That's all.
People want to have their money and then they blow it on betting.
So let them do what they want. It's their money. They do what they want with it, right?
Right on.
There you go. That's how I see it. They do what they want with it.
And another story before we get to the top of the hour and we bring Frank in here.
Oh, God.
Chad Johnson, how about this, makes his CFL debut. The country is different and the field is bigger, but it's still a chance to play football. That's all Chad Johnson cares about, as he caught one pass in his CFL debut.
One pass.
With the Montreal Alutes.
How much is he getting paid?
In the story, it doesn't say how much he's getting paid.
Probably getting paid a crappy amount of money.
He's trying to do something to keep himself preoccupied.
Playing in Canada, for Jiminy Cricket's sakes.
He's up at Montreal, Jeff.
Hope he freezes his ass off.
Johnson said the CFL field, which is 150 yards long and 65 yards wide, as opposed to 120 yards long and 53.33 yards wide in the NFL, wasn't an issue for him.
I didn't think it would be. I think he would like it better, to tell you the truth.
Johnson, who caught 766 passes for 11,059 yards and 67 touchdowns in 11 seasons with the Bengals and the New England Patriots, caught one pass for 13 yards from former NFL quarterback Troy Smith in Friday's game.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Alutes or something. It's Alouttes. It's some CFL team, Jazzy Jeff, in Montreal.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, Jeff, you couldn't stand Ocho.
I'm not an Ocho Cinco fan, no. But he went back to Chad Johnson, didn't he? Chad Johnson is 36. He's not gonna. He won't be back in the NFL. He's done.
So he's going to enjoy his time in the CFL.
Yeah, I know. I know, Jeff. It's funny. He says Alutes. It's pronounced the Alouettes.
Alouettes. Whoever the heck the team. Well, I don't follow the CFL. Who would?
I bet you our Canadian friends follow CFL, you rat bastard.
Oh, yeah, they will take it very strictly. I know Ron Gallo would enjoy watching the CFL, and we got him on for tomorrow.
Exactly. Hey, really quick before we go to the top of the hour break. Los Angeles Kings goalie Jonathan Quick had wrist surgery, will be off the ice up to 3 months. Do you know he hurt himself during the Anaheim Ducks series, but he kept playing?
He was a warrior for keeping on going.
How about that, man?
Troy Smith, Frank, used to play for the San Francisco 49ers.
Big deal.
Now he's in the CFL, and if anybody wants to watch Montreal CFL football, just go up to Montreal.
Quick signed a 10-year, $58 million contract last year. Just completed his first season of a 10-year, $58 million. 10 years, $58 million. That's a good contract. That's a fair contract. 10 years, $58 million. Compared to 10 years, $298 million. Right?
Got to give the man his props. He played a big role with the LA Kings. And remember, the Kings were a team that never looked back after they came back from that 0-3 deficit against the San Jose Sharks in the quarterfinals.
10 years.
10 years, yep.
$58 million for 10 years. Think about that. He signed a 10-year contract last year, just completed his first season of a 10-year, $58 million contract. Okay? Think about that. 10 years, $58 million. That sucks. But he's a great goalie.
And tough.
And the Kings definitely are getting the money's worth out of him. Right?
Right.
10 years, $58 million is not bad.
Not bad at all. And on that note, we got to run to commercial break. Come back, we're going to have Frank Spreaker coming on to give his second hour perspective on sports stories. And I know one that we're going to be talking about, Jeff, LeBron James.
Old windbag himself will be here with us when we come back. You're listening to Jeff Escow and Sean Mann on
Sports World Radio.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Stay fire safe this winter. Turn portable heaters off when you go to bed or leave the room. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away. Plug portable heaters directly into wall outlets. Inspect and replace damaged cords, broken outlets, or loose connections. Use portable heaters with an automatic shutoff so that if they tip over, they turn off. Only use portable heaters approved by a recognized testing laboratory. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Be fire safe during the holidays. Only use decorations that are non-flammable or flame retardant. Check holiday lights each year for frayed wires or excessive wear. And do not link more than 3 strands. Never leave a burning candle unattended. Consider using battery-operated flameless candles which look and smell like real candles. If your celebration includes a natural tree, keep it away from any heat source or exit. Water your tree daily to keep it from becoming dry. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Have you ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Eskow, Sean Mann, and joining us now, the old windbag himself, Frank Sprankle. What's going on, buddy?
I got to tell you, because of that comment, I got some big news.
You got some big news?
I have some big news. I am declaring myself a free agent. I am actually opting out my final 2 years, and I am declaring myself as a free agent today. The press release just came out about an hour ago.
Well, you have to wait until the end of your contract. You can't do it in the middle.
Dude, I can opt out. There's an opt-out clause before 2 years, so I'm opting out.
Well,
I have become a free agent. I am going to be a free agent like
I understand that, but you have to
the mix.
You have to wait till the end of the first year to opt out. You're not at the end yet. So you're stuck till the end.
Dude, can you imagine all the bidders? We're talking about a $200 million value here.
Second hour of the show, it's 7:04 p.m. on the East Coast, which makes it 4:04 p.m. on the West. It's June 24th, 2014. Welcome, Frank. Good to see you, bud. The big headline this morning when I got up, LeBron James has announced that he will opt out of his contract, which makes this summer very interesting again. You got Melo as a free agent already deciding to opt out. Kevin Love is looking at possibilities. But, Frank, I got to ask you, where do we see LeBron James going? I looked at a poll today. 67% say LeBron James will be on another team, and 35% say Miami Heat. If I'm Pat Riley, I'm going up to LeBron every day and say, stay in Miami, stay in Miami. What's your take?
Let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you guys this: how much should the landscape, the fan base of the Miami Heat, be scared to death right now?
I think they'd be very scared because it would be the end of an era in Miami.
I don't know. Wait, where's Browning bastard?
He hasn't even shown his face.
And you know why? Because he's scared.
Do you think he's nervous right now?
Yes, he's scared.
Are we expecting to see another decision like we did in July of 2010? And Jeff remembers that very well.
Can I say this? Let me say this. 4 years ago, when LeBron made that infamous decision on ESPN, many saw this being the greatest talent of NBA players assembled on one team. If indeed LeBron, who has opted out, decides to take his talents somewhere else. On top of that, Bosch is thinking about opting out, going somewhere else. We're looking at one team that had so much potential be the biggest bust in sports history.
Yeah, of course.
This would be the biggest bust in sports. I know they wanted 2 NBA titles, but they were expected to win a lot more than 2. 2 is nothing. This would be the biggest bust in all of sports history.
Remember LeBron James and that pep rally that he, Wade, and Bosch had in July of 2010. They were talking about a big dynasty. They were talking about 7 or 8 straight championships. In the 4 years they've been together, they've been to 4 finals. They have won 2, and they have lost 2 NBA championships. Now with the Heat losing to San Antonio, I think you're right. We're starting to see the end of an era in Miami.
A short
LeBron
one.
Going somewhere else.
A short era. This is going to be the biggest bust in sports history. How about this? If indeed these guys break up, you know what I would do if I were Pat Riley? I just retire. I retire from basketball entirely.
Yeah, Pat Riley could say, I've had a good run with Miami, and I've had a good run as coach of the LA Lakers, the Knicks, and the Heat.
Why not? Because you would still have Dwayne Wade. There is speculation that Dwayne Wade would opt out of his contract, although I believe he is due over the next couple of years $40 million. I don't know any team that's going to want to take Dwayne Wade, being that he is up there in age. So you're looking at this team potentially becoming once again Dwayne Wade's team, and maybe a team that could go to the playoffs, but they're not going to be anywhere close to title contention anymore if you lose LeBron.
All right, now here's the big question, Jeff and Frank. Let's talk about other places for LeBron. Jeff, let's start with your New York Knicks. Would you like that move, LeBron to the Knicks?
Can't happen. They can't afford him.
Frank, what would you think? I mean, if the Knicks could afford him, and Frank, what would your thoughts be if he went to the Knicks? You know he's got connections there. He likes New York City, and him and Melo could play together.
Wait. How do we know Melo was going to re-sign with the Knicks?
Well,
we'll talk about
Melo. It can't.
I'm going to agree with Jeff and say that doesn't
cannot happen.
It could happen. There could be some talk, and for all we know, there probably has been talk between LeBron and Melo.
The only way
playing together.
The only way it would be able to happen is if they both opted in on the final years of the contract. Carmelo played with the Knicks next year. LeBron played with the Heat next year. They both then are unrestricted free agents. Then they could both sign with the Knicks. Otherwise, no, it cannot happen.
All right, I agree with Jeff. I don't see it happening in New York.
How about LeBron to the Chicago Bulls?
For some reason, I don't see that happening either. I think they're high on Carmelo Anthony.
Because, Frank, yeah, that's what you're saying. You're
I think
saying
they
in
wanna
the
save-
chat room that the Bulls are looking at Melo more than they are with LeBron James.
There's only one place.
Go ahead, Jeff.
There's only two places LeBron's going to end up playing. One
Let's
is
hear 'em.
Miami, and the other one is the Clippers, and that's it.
The Clippers?
Yes, the Clippers.
Well, I remember. Hold it. Frank, before we did shows together, I did a story on that with Jeff, and there was talk when Miami went to play the Clippers about how LeBron could take his talents to Southern California and play with Doc Rivers and the LA Clippers. That is a possibility.
All right, let me just say
He
this.
wants to
First
play-
of
he
all,
wants
right
to-
now, in terms of Miami Heat fans, I'd be right by the phone ready to dial 911 because for LeBron to opt out of the final year, that tells me also that there has been, since the loss to the Spurs a week ago, there has been friction within the Miami Heat organization. I believe there has been.
How about this move? LeBron James decides, I'm going to take my talents to the Houston Rockets. Jeff, Frank?
Not going to happen.
I could maybe, well, not going to happen. Maybe LeBron sees another challenge, and maybe it isn't Miami. Maybe it is the Clippers. Maybe it is going. All right, go ahead, because I want to get back to
Houston. Yeah, I'm talking about the Houston Rockets, though. You don't
never
see that
hear
happening.
LeBron.
with Dwight.
There's not really speculation about LeBron going to Houston. I don't know why. What would be appealing about Houston in terms of the talent they have there?
They have Dwight Howard over
They
there.
have Dwight Howard. Well, here's the thing: would Dwight Howard like it? Because Dwight Howard's got one of the biggest egos in the NBA, and he can't keep his in check.
No,
Jeff,
It's
you don't
not-
see it happening.
They're
with
going
him
to butt
to
heads.
Houston.
They would butt heads. I guarantee you that.
Two teams. The two teams. The Heat and the Clippers. That's it.
What about? Wait a minute. What about the Cavaliers?
Ooh, yeah, going back
Well,
to his hometown.
All right,
Oh,
I want to talk about that especially because I think
What would Cleveland fans do? They'd say, "We forgive you, LeBron," and then
They
of course
would.
we got Johnny Manziel on our team.
And hold on, let's understand this. You mentioned Johnny Manziel. Aren't LeBron and Johnny Manziel buddies?
Yes, they are.
Look at the timing. You have Manziel drafted by the Browns. Cavaliers have the #1 draft pick on Thursday. As mentioned,
Yeah,
they
but you
are
know
buddies.
something, Frank?
Go ahead.
You know something, Frank? Just because Johnny Manziel and LeBron are buddies, isn't Chris Paul and LeBron buddies? Wouldn't he rather play basketball with Chris Paul at Clippers than play in Cleveland? Come on.
Well, hold on. This would give LeBron a chance to see his good buddy Johnny Manziel, and he will be the starting quarterback at some time. If not week 1, he is going to be the starting quarterback, I bet you, week 6 with the Cleveland Browns.
And here's something that the Encyclopedia Man said to me today when we were Skyping. He goes, and I'd call him an overrated slam dunk free throwing media Mongol. And you can tell Jeff that. That's what the Encyclopedia Man is, because what the Encyclopedia Man said about LeBron, because you know that when I visit with him, Encyclopedia Man says, I'm getting so sick and tired of the media talking all about LeBron this and LeBron that. He says, it's reminding me of 4 years ago. I would have to agree with him.
Well, then you know what? Let me say this. If you don't want to hear anything about LeBron James, then don't put on ESPN or NBA TV or Fox Sports 1. Don't put on Sports Talk Radio, including this show, because guess what? That's all you're going to hear from the sports universe will be about LeBron James,
Well, it's
and
not
to an
just-
extent, and Carmelo Anthony as well.
It's not just going to be the sporting media that's going to blow this whole thing out of proportion. Even the news media will get into that.
Absolutely.
Because remember what happened 4
CNN
years
will.
ago, Jeff and Frank? The news was talking about this too. Even President Obama was even wanting to having LeBron go to the Chicago Bulls, and that didn't happen. I know, Jeff, you got sick of it. I remember you were in Kansas City, and you couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I remember what you called LeBron. I heard your show in Kansas City the day LeBron signed with the Miami Heat. You called him Benedict Arnold.
Who, me?
You
Yeah,
did.
you called him Benedict Arnold.
Well, he is.
Well, that is true. That is a comparison to make a strong comparison.
Here's another thing that the Encyclopedia Man said about this. He goes, yeah, I'm tired of it because the NBA used to be my favorite sport. Now that changed because of people like LaBitch, D. Wade, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Chris Bosh, and Carmelo, where they rather take the easy way out instead having done it by themselves, where you can have more than 6 legit teams in the NBA instead of 3 powerhouse we get every year. That's what the Encyclopedia Man told me today, Jeff.
Well,
Frank?
let me tell you this. All right, let me tell you this. My favorite era of the NBA was in the 1980s and the 1990s, and Jeff and I, we've talked about this quite a bit. That
So
if you want to see my favorite point in NBA history, watch the Bulls-Pistons playoff matchups of the late 1980s, early 1990s, and you'll find out why that is my favorite era of the NBA. Because back then you had players, you had superstars with other teams. You had hard-nosed basketball. You had players crashing down the alley. It was great instead of today in which, yes, you have superstars wanting to align with each other. You have tattoos. You have the hip-hop-ish image. You have pants on the ground, NBA players looking like a bunch of fools with their pants on the ground.
Before we go to commercial, though, Jeff and Frank, do you agree with what the Encyclopedia Man says? I can kind of agree with that because it seems like now it's like 3 powerhouse teams.
Well, it definitely is, especially with Miami. And if, let's say, LeBron does come back to Miami, let's say the big 3 were to realign themselves in Miami and Melo comes to Chicago, then you have a couple of big teams in the NBA, a couple of big powerhouses in the NBA East between Miami and Chicago. And it'd be Miami and Chicago that would be expected to contend for that conference.
Can't wait to hear Jeff's perspective on this as we're going to go to commercial break. We'll talk a little bit more about this after the break.
I could give a rat's ass about it, Sports World Radio.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow new way to workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff, Sean Mann, and Frank Sprankle sitting in the second hour like he does each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Hey, I hate to tell you something, but when the three of us are on hold, I think it's a better show when we're on hold than when we're on the air.
Yeah, it was funny for commercial break.
Well, all right, then let me just say it. Here's where I think LeBron should go to. I think LeBron should take his talents to Turkey. He should play internationally. Because think about it. LeBron could be treated like a god in Europe.
He'd get paid a hell of a lot more, too.
I wonder how it would be. I wonder how it would be if he just decided 4 years later, I'm going to take my talents back to the place where I started my NBA career, which would be Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland fans, like I say, they will go crazy and nuts. And then the Miami fan, you're right, Frank. Like when we were talking here, Encyclopedia Man, we talked about how it's going to possibly be a repeat of what we saw 4 years ago.
I'm telling you.
Like I said, he should take his talents to Europe. Nobody will burn his jersey. Nobody will burn his jersey in the United States.
I'm telling you.
Fans doing that.
I'm telling you, there's going to be a group of people that's going to be pissed, and there's going to be a group of people that's going to be happy. So it doesn't matter what he does. Somebody's going to be pissed.
That is absolutely true.
So
I thought, in my personal opinion, that decision 4 years ago in July of 2010 was an absolute waste. If he was going to go to Miami, he should have just signed with the Heat. Okay, there were all indications that he was going to go to the Miami Heat, and it was talked about all day. Instead, he has to organize this whole thing with Jim Gray to sit down get prepared for his big interview where he was going to go.
Wait a minute, the money went to the Boys and Girls Club. It did go to a benefit. I thought it was stupid. I agree there.
I thought it was stupid. It was the most stupidest thing I ever saw on TV. Just sign with the team instead of say, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
It was self-gratifying.
Isn't that what was great
and
about
that was
Peyton
all about
Manning?
money.
Isn't that what was great about Peyton Manning? Because remember, a couple years ago, we went through this with Peyton Manning, although it was different circumstances. He and the Colts parted mutual ways. And remember, we kept on seeing Peyton Manning arrive in this city, and we were seeing helicopters following his every move from the airport to the team facility for a workout and an interview. But Peyton Manning didn't go on TV making an announcement like LeBron James did.
Oh, that was terrible.
That's because he learned. That's because he learned not to do it and saw how stupid it was.
Of course.
But we'll see what happens. I was like saying, oh, great. Now I have a feeling we're going to have decision 2 where LeBron James announces to Jim Gray where I'm going to go play next and take my talents.
I have a question. Shouldn't maybe this be on NBA TV or TNT? I mean, ESPN already had it once.
No. ESPN will blow the whole thing out of proportion, Frank. They'll be talking about it. Like I got up.
Why not TNT do? Hold on. Maybe TNT should do it. Charles Barkley is the biggest LeBron James butt kisser there is right now.
Yeah, because Charles Barkley even said that I believe LeBron James, and we did a story about this. I think it was like last month or back in April. Jeff remembers. Charles Barkley said, I think it'll be a great move if LeBron James maybe goes back to Cleveland. I can see that happening.
I think Charles Barkley
relationship with Dan Gilbert will be good.
I think Charles Barkley needs a lobotomy.
What?
What happens if you were on inside the NBA?
Hey, I love Bark too. Let me ask you this. Charles Barkley is the reason why I watch Inside the NBA. Because he is brutally honest. Seriously, he's like me. I'm going to say whatever I want, and you can agree or disagree, and in the end, I don't care whatever the hell you think.
What do you think, Jeff?
I don't care.
What if you were on Inside the NBA, Jeff, and you were debating Charles Barkley?
I tell him to shut up. Just keep your mouth shut, because really the things that come out of it don't need to be coming out of it. So just shut up.
Have his boyfriend Stephen A. Smith do the interview. That's good. Encyclopedia.
See, the problem is those guys don't live in the real world. They live
Wait, what do you mean they don't live in the real world?
They don't live in the real world. They live in the money world. They don't live in the real world.
Well, what I listened to today, yeah, you're talking about the real world, the money world. That's exactly what Chris Broussard said. He said, LeBron James is trying to keep his options open for the summer, and that's all he wanted to do after he left Cleveland when he was there from 2003 to 2010.
The only time Charles Barkley has to think or speak for himself is when he's on that show. Otherwise, he has somebody do it for him.
No Inside the NBA, no Charles Barkley on Inside the NBA, no worship from me, Frank Sprinkle.
I would rather see you on there than Charles Barkley.
But would you want to see me and Barkley on the show together?
I would rather see you than Charles Barkley on that show.
Yeah, because you mentioned me and Charles Barkley on a show together.
I would, if you ever get on a show like that with him, I'd like to see you rip him a new one. Because he deserves it.
What about Barkley against Shaquille O'Neal? Have they ever had good debates since Shaq's been there on Inside the NBA?
You know what I like about Shaq? Shaq calls Barkley out. I like that. He says, "Oh, shut up, Shut up, Charles. You don't know what you're talking about." I love when he does that because
Hey,
he's
do you
right.
remember it? What was it?
He's right.
November, what was it? November of 1999. It was early in the 1999-2000 season. Remember the brawl Barkley and Shaq had? Of course, Shaq was with the Lakers. Barkley was with the Rockets. Remember this was in Houston and the big brawl they had?
Mm-hmm.
That's what people are always going to remember those two for.
The only reason why Barkley Charles.
Barkley Charles?
Yeah, that's what his name should really be. The only reason why Charles Barkley is on TNT is because he's a big mound round of nothing. Okay,
He's got the best opinions on anywhere.
I didn't like him as a basketball player. I don't like him as an analyst, and I can't stand him as a golfer.
I love him as an analyst. Dude, that would be one of my dreams to be on a show with Charles Barkley. Seriously.
He is the worst.
Shaq could interview LeBron James instead of Barkley. He could ask him where he wants to play.
Shaq is better than freaking Barkley. Hey, listen.
How many championships did Shaq win?
Shaq has won 4 championships. Barkley hasn't won any.
Frank, let me ask you a question. How the hell do you fall asleep in the middle of doing the show?
What do you mean, dude? I'm up. Dude, excuse me? Are you calling me out by falling asleep?
No.
How can I be falling asleep if I'm talking to you?
I'm calling Charles Barkley out. Calling Charles Barkley out. He falls asleep in the middle of them doing the show. How do you do that? Sat there and falls asleep in the middle of the show and says, "No, I wasn't sleeping." Bull, your eyes were freaking closing and you were sitting there.
What would you do? Pour a bucket of cold water in his face?
I would have dumped a bucket of cold water right over his head. Got his whole suit all freaking wet and crummy and made him yell and scream and said, and then fired his ass for falling asleep on the air. Yeah, way to go there, Charles Barkley.
And then Barkley will be upset and he goes, "Hey, man, what are you spilling water on my face for?"
Wake up, you dummy. We're doing a TV show. You're not supposed to be sleeping. We don't pay you to sleep on the air.
Wait, what was this?
Wait, what was this? He probably would say, "Well, I'm too tired. I've been up very early.
Tough.
We've been going till 1 a.m. or 1:30 in the
Tough.
morning."
This is your job. You don't sleep at your job on the air.
I agree. You don't sleep at your job.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Guy falls asleep on the air. You didn't see it?
I don't remember that. I must have not been watching
it.
I've seen him kind of get really, really tired.
They made a joke out of it and everything, man. They busted his chops about it. Yeah, I bet you if you go to YouTube and type in Charles Barkley falls asleep during broadcast, they'll have it.
It's like that with Tim McCarver. I'll use him as an example. One time he was calling the game with Joe Buck, and what was Tim McCarver doing? He was on his cell phone texting during the middle of the game.
Well,
and
come
Joe
on.
Buck said, "Turn off your cell phone, Tim."
Well, hey, come on. The worst person of them all, who happens to be one of the best announcers in the world, was freaking Harry Carey.
Oh, yes. God rest his soul.
Okay.
And you know what? Harry Carey used to have a couple of cold ones before and during the game, and not to mention quite a few after.
No, that guy freaking, if he's in the middle of a story and a pitch is happening, you don't even know the pitch happened.
Here's
you know what, Harry Carey, look, having gone to games in which remembering Harry Carey when he broadcast for the Cubs, it was like listening to Harry Carey was just like being at a game with the guy next to you.
Correct.
That's the way I can describe it. Ordinary fan.
This guy's in the middle of a story and somebody cracks a single, you don't even know it.
Well,
he
Frank,
just keeps
did
going
you
with the
ever
story.
know Harry Carey at all?
No, I did not. I was
met him.
unfortunately too young, but I remember him during the 1980s and 1990s growing up. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be honest. The fact that Harry Carey was broadcasting Cub games and all of them were on WGN TV, that's what turned me into a Cub fan because the Cubs were easily accessible. Being that they were on WGN TV.
Right.
Harry Carey came over from the White Sox in the early 1980s, and the White Sox had half their games on TV, which was a pay-per-view service at the time, and some of the games were available on the Fox affiliate now, WFLD TV channel 32, but the majority of them were on TV, and that was how the new ownership at the time, Reinsdorf and Einhorn, still owners, but they wanted to go in that direction. They even admitted it was a mistake, and that's what turned me into a Cub fan. They were easily accessible watching the games on WGN TV with Harry Carey at the play-by-play.
Right. No, I agree. Hey, before we go to break, Frank.
That's I.
I'm going to the Padre game Saturday night.
Oh, you are? Saturday night? Great.
Saturday night, yeah. You know why I'm going to the game Saturday night?
Let's hear it.
It's Fedora night. They're giving out fedoras.
I've seen the hats. They're good.
One thing I do admire about the Padres, it seems that every month they have an 80s weekend.
Yeah, they're giving out fedoras. San Diego Padre fedora hat on freaking Saturday night.
The Padres probably lead the league in 80s throwbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so when I'm going to go Saturday night, I get my fedora hat. I'm going to pay my homage to Tony Gwynn at the statue.
And who's the opponent on Saturday this weekend for the Padres, I should say?
Arizona Diamondbacks.
Divisional matchup.
Yeah.
Encyclopedia Man, before we go to our second final update, he goes, quote, "I rather look at drywall than hear about McQueen and Barkley." And then he goes, "You guys are still talking about guy that first deserved to be in the top 50. LOL.
We're not. We're way past all that.
Understand Barkley." That's from the Encyclopedia
Hey,
Man.
Josh, I got him off the subject. Now you're bringing him right back, you jackass. The hell's the matter with you? I took him off.
Relax, buddy. He was even ripping me about trying to tell you about it. I was like, we had other stuff we were talking about.
I took him off the subject like you wanted me to without them even knowing it, and you freaking bring him right back to it. Way to go, production boy. Hey, this update is brought to you by Keurig.coffeemachines.com. For all your coffee needs, if you need tea, coffee machine, a coffee holder, a drawer, head on over to Keurig.coffeemachines.com. Brewing perfection, one cup at a time. That's Keurig.coffeemachines.com. Take it away, Sean Mann, with the final update of the day.
Welcome, everybody, to the final update here for Sports World Radio. 31 minutes past the hour, second hour of Sports World Radio, June 24th, 2014. We're going to start in the NBA. Of course, as you know, LeBron James today announced that he's going to opt out of his contract and he is going to explore other destinations where he wants to take his talents. Other news in the NBA, this one just came in a little while ago. The Pistons may trade Josh Smith, and a place that they're looking at trading him to would be the Sacramento Kings. Carmelo Anthony has decided, of course, he's going to opt out, and he's going to be looking at other places as well. And there, of course, LeBron and Melo may possibly play together. Duncan has decided that he is going to exercise his $10.3 million option with the Spurs. And, of course, with Duncan being there, could LeBron maybe go the defending NBA champion Spurs? We shall see. The LA Clippers, who have lost 3 assistant coaches, are now looking at a new assistant coach with Doc Rivers, and that would be Lawrence Frank. Lawrence Frank, of course, was an assistant with the Boston Celtics during the 2010-2011 season. He has a great relationship with Doc Rivers, so there is a possibility that he could go there. In the NFL, here's a big storyline coming that New Jersey and the United States Supreme Court, Governor Christie has decided to ban gambling for sports games in that state. They made the ruling. Of course, Vegas is, of course, the gambling capital of the world. Now we go to Major League Baseball, and here's some of the action that we got coming on right now. In the National League, top second, the Phillies have struck for 3 runs. They lead 3-0. The Miami Marlins, of course, are threatening, have the bases loaded. Interleague play, the team that has the best record in baseball, and that would be the Oakland Athletics. They lead 1-0 against the New York Mets. Other games in the National League, you got the Reds taking on the Cubs, Nationals at the Brewers, Cardinals at the Rockies, interleague play, Indians at the Diamondbacks, and the Padres taking on the Giants. Let's move to the American League. Top second down in Baltimore, the White Sox, they lead 2-0. They got a run in the first inning and a run in the second inning down in Camden Yards in Baltimore. In Toronto, Ontario, it is the Yankees at the Blue Jays, and so far there is a 0-0 tie. The Yankees, of course, just left the bases, left 2 men stranded, second and third, in the top half of the second inning. Interleague play on an error down in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Pirates lead 1-0 in that game. Other games that we have coming up, we got the Tigers taking on the Rangers. That game can be seen on MLB Network. Interleague play, it'll be the Dodgers at the Royals, Braves at the Astros. Back to the American League, it'll be the Twins at the Angels and the Red Sox at the Mariners. We're going to be right back after this commercial break. This final update was brought to you by Keurig.coffeemachines.com.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think.
Synergistic integration.
Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Esca, Sean Mann, and Frank Sprankle joining us. We're in the second hour, bottom of the second hour, only a half hour left to go in the show. Hope everybody's enjoying the show. 619-663-3715 is the number. 619-663-3715 is the number to get involved. If you have Skype, head on over to sportsworldradio.com. Click the little red icon over there, and you'll be directed right to the show. Now, with all that saying, let's bring back the fellas. What's going on, boys?
Hey, I'll tell you what, go ahead, because I was hoping we can get into Carmelo Anthony. We can switch our gears from LeBron James and get into Carmelo Anthony. But here's something I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Phil Jackson angle involved here.
Go ahead.
Do you get the sense here that Phil Jackson may be at odds in terms of, geez, why did I take this job? I can't get the coach that I want in Steve Kerr. Now I can't potentially get a free agent, or if I should say retain the player that I want.
He doesn't really want
Carmelo Anthony.
I don't think he really wants him.
Well, I think many are going to say that Carmelo Anthony, with him being on the Knicks, that's going to make a huge difference. Let me ask you this, Jeff. You are a Knicks fan here. You love the game of basketball more than everybody. You take Carmelo Anthony away from the New York Knicks, and they don't have that superstar player here.
So?
I mean, they don't sign a superstar in free agency.
So?
You take away Carmelo Anthony, how good are the New York Knicks?
They're not. They're not good with him. It's not next year we're looking at. We're looking at the year after
they made
and the
the
year after.
playoffs. Do they not make the playoffs?
No, they don't make the playoffs. No, but that's not what we're looking at. We're not. See, that's the problem. Everybody's looking to next year. That's not what we're looking at. We're looking at the future.
All right, what is the future for the New York Knicks? Are we talking 2014, 2016, 2018, what?
We're talking, 2014-15 is shot, the 2015-2016, and the 2016-2017. And from there on up, that's what you're looking at, because you got to figure next year's done. That's Jackson's first year. After that, that's Jackson's second year. Now he can start building the team he wants. By the third year or the fourth year into Jackson's tenure, now you're going to have the team he wants, and now you got a Knick team.
All right,
that's what you're looking at.
Go ahead, Sean.
Well, do you think that Derek Fisher will fulfill his coaching with the Knicks, or do you think he could be gone after a few years, and then Jackson finds a much better coach than Derek Fisher?
Jackson,
because who knows what he's going to bring to that team?
Jackson's health can improve, and he could be sitting on the bench.
That is true. He could just say,
wait.
I'm president of the Knicks. I've won championships with the Bulls. I've won championships with the Lakers. I could just decide, hey, I'm president. Let me coach the team. I'll bring in all my assistants.
That's a great point, and that's something I want to bring up, because when Derek Fisher was announced formally to the media as the new head coach of the New York Knicks, Phil Jackson said that I'm from the Grateful Dead era. Derek Fisher is from the hip-hop era, and he wants Phil Jackson, to understand what era this is. So he is hiring somebody that is comfortable with this era, which tells me one of two things. Either A, Phil Jackson doesn't want to coach again, or B, Phil Jackson is scared to coach again.
Phil Jackson will be coaching the team via Derek Fisher. In other words, it's going to be Phil Jackson's triangle offense. Phil Jackson will be at every single day of training camp until the season starts. The only time he won't be with the team is when they go on the road. Otherwise, he's going to be with that team. He and Derek Fisher are going to drill that offense into them.
Jeff, let me ask you this question, and I just thought of this. If you look at Carmelo Anthony and his decision to pretty much say, I'm not coming back to the New York Knicks, and that's not going to happen, let's face fact here. How much of this is based on him not wanting to play for an owner in James Dolan?
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has to do – he wanted to go to the Knicks because it's his hometown. He loves New York. He wants to play in New York. He doesn't want to have to uproot his whole entire family. It's a big decision for him.
But he's not happy in New York.
How do you know he's not happy in New York?
Well, why did he opt out?
Why did he opt out? So he can sign a contract for bigger money with the Knicks.
Knicks aren't going to do it.
They got no choice.
Well, here's the thing.
He either signs with the Knicks for 5 years, $129 million, or he goes somewhere else for 4 years, $96. What are you going to do?
Are they even a contender with just Carmelo Anthony?
No, but again, you're just looking at that next year. We're looking down the road.
What's more important here for Melo? Is it the money or him playing for a contender?
The money.
I believe it's playing for a contender. That's why he wants to jump ship and get out of New York ASAP.
Okay, once again, there was an article or an interview that came out with Carmelo Anthony on June 3rd. Carmelo Anthony, in the interview, said, I don't know about moving because then I have to uproot my child from a different school, take him away from all his friends, and I don't know if I want to put him through that. I like where I'm at. I like New York. I want to stay with the Knicks, but I'm going to look at other things. That's what he said. Now what are you going to say?
Got to keep the options open.
And I think that's what he's doing, and Chicago's a big option for him. As a matter of fact, Tom Thibodeau, I got to tell you, there was a report on Sunday in the Chicago Sun-Times that Tom Thibodeau, although not reaching out to Carmelo Anthony, you just can't do that. I mean, look at what happened with Phil Jackson and Derek Fisher right before Fisher announced his retirement. Became the head coach of the Knicks.
Now he can.
Okay, but hold on. Look at what Tom Thibodeau has apparently done.
He reached out to
Tom Thibodeau
coaches.
has apparently reached out to former coaches
right, we know
of
that.
Carmelo Anthony and wants to know some information. Why do I have a feeling one of those coaches has to be Mike Woodson?
He can reach out. Carmelo could go in there and talk and do whatever he wants, right? It's
Mike
still.
Woodson, are you serious?
No, he probably
Well, he
did.
just played for Mike Woodson.
He probably did reach out to Mike Woodson to ask him about Carmelo. I wouldn't doubt it.
The coaching fraternity's close, Sean.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't doubt it at all. I'm sure he did.
I'm sure Thibodeau and Woodson have had a secret conversation.
I'm sure Thibodeau talked to Jackson about Melo. I am telling you, I do not believe. In fact, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I believe that Phil Jackson does not want Carmelo Anthony. What are you laughing at?
The Knicks.
Wait, what?
What are you laughing at, Sean?
Jeff believes that the Knicks are in the process of rebuilding and going young. And I'm saying if Melo wants to walk and go to another team.
No, I'm not saying that the Knicks are going young. I'm saying the Knicks are going Phil Jackson's way, and Phil Jackson wants to build his team. Whether Carmelo Anthony is a part of it or whether he's not a part of it, Phil Jackson doesn't really care.
That's right.
Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson coexist with each other.
Sure they can, but Phil Jackson doesn't care whether he gets Carmelo or he doesn't. Deep down inside, I believe he doesn't care. Because if he did care, he'd be putting a lot more pressure on Carmelo.
Okay, but let's get back to LeBron here. Why have we heard reports about LeBron and Melo actually engaged in conversation about playing with each other? Because if it's going to happen, it ain't going to happen with the New York Knicks. Let me tell you that right now. You're right, Jeff. They can't afford it because of the salary cap.
There's only one team it can happen with, and there's only one team it can happen with. One team, and that's Miami. That's it. Because all three of those guys can opt out. They can all sign for lower rates, lower money, and then they can bring in freaking Carmelo. Otherwise, it can't happen.
If they bring in Carmelo, then you know what? It's a big upgrade as opposed to Chris Bosh.
Or even if they have Chris Bosh there. You take Dwayne, you put him on the bench, and you start Carmelo.
And on that note, we're going to talk more about the NBA after our final commercial break. And some buddy of mine says that Jeff is, they like our caricature pictures, and Jeff's got a bald head.
No kidding. Sports World Radio.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
All right, welcome back to Sports World Radio, the final segment here of Sports World Radio. It's been a great afternoon. Glad everybody is hanging out with us.
It's been quick.
In all the avenues of where they're hanging out and listening to us on Good and Plenty Radio, on PhillyBeerManOverThere.com, also on Honest Answer Radio, as well as SportsWorldRadio.com, and all the people hanging out with us in the chat room over on Spreaker.com. We really appreciate all you people listening to this show. We do this show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West, and if you live in the Central,
For you people that live in the Central, you really need to figure it out for yourself. If you
I
have to spend my time blah explaining it to you.
5 o'clock Central. Listen, it's 5 o'clock in the time zone that Josh, Encyclopedia Man, and I call home. So guess what? It's 5 o'clock. You didn't mention the Rocky Mountain time zone.
Screw the Rocky Mountains. Hey, you know what?
What do
you know
mean?
what?
Think of those people who live on the mountain time zone over there.
Screw 'em. Hey,
I got a question. When are we going to do the show in Hawaii one of these days?
We are in Hawaii right now. If somebody was listening to us, they can hear us in Hawaii on the internet.
Aloha!
Hey, speaking of Central Time, boys, we're going to have a Central Time guy in the studio on Monday. Jazzy Jeff is flying in from San Antonio on Saturday night. He's going to be in San Diego for the week, and he's agreed to sit in a couple times during the week. So he'll be in the studio. So
I'm a Spurs fan.
Yeah, he is a major Spurs fan. Yeah.
He's going to come in. He's going to come into San Diego with his 2014 NBA championship apparel, hat, and shirt. I bet.
Well, if you were here at the top of the show, he actually called in and spoke to us for a little while. But I guess you were taking a nap before your appearance.
I've been up since 5.
So you were taking a nap, right?
I was been up since 5 a.m. in the time zone that you guys asked to figure it out. So I've been up since 3 o'clock, Jeff.
Sean,
time zone.
I didn't go to bed till 4 my time.
I only got 4 hours of sleep last night.
Because you were enjoying listening to Mike and Mike talk about the Soccer World Cup.
You know what? I was listening to them on my way to a breakfast this morning.
They're boring when they talk about soccer. That stuff blows, man. I'll tell you one thing. They started talking about soccer. I was falling asleep.
Oh, so that will make you fall. Will that make you fall asleep on air if we start talking about soccer?
I'd rather watch paint. Sean, I want to make sure Frank hears this. I would rather watch paint dry than watch soccer.
Ever been paintballing?
No, but I used to. No, but I'm a painting contractor. I know how to paint houses for a living.
Paintball rules. So does laser tag.
I watched a lot of paint dry in my life, dude. I would rather watch paint dry than watch soccer.
You know what I enjoy on TV? Seriously, I enjoy those outdoor life shows. You know, especially the fishing shows.
I would rather watch grass grow than watch soccer.
By the way, in order to come on a fishing trip with me, it's got to be earned.
I don't go fishing. I like to keep my feet on solid ground.
The Encyclopedia Man has an announcement. He's just Skyped me and he says it's hockey on grass. And think about that. That came from Nick yesterday.
It's hockey on grass. That's what
Why is there hardly any goals scored in the soccer game?
That's what Nick said about soccer. It's like hockey on grass.
Well, he's right to a point, but the only difference is the field is bigger. The playing surface is bigger. That's what you know what. If it's indoor soccer, you've seen indoor soccer.
Why is Josh typing you on Skype and not in the chat room?
I think it's because he probably feels kind of lonely. That's what it is. I don't know why, but he probably feels lonely.
Type in the chat room, you bastard.
Lonely. Ever heard the song "Lonely Boy" by Paul Anka?
I'm so lonely for
no,
you.
It's not right, you dumbo. He called me a dumbo, and somebody said that Jeff's got an interesting voice. Somebody, am I listening in?
I got an interesting voice?
You have a really weird voice, but a buddy of mine enjoys listening in.
Well, thank ye very much over there.
You got it.
Hey,
Oh, he said, how about your Cubs lonely there, Frank Sprankle? Yeah.
Look, I've conceded the Cubs since the start of the regular season. I'm like Jeff. It's a huge rebuilding project. The only question is, will it ever come to fruition?
I conceded the Padres, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to go to the game Saturday night and get my fedora hat, man. Hey, Frank, head on over to SanDiegoPadres.com and you'll see the fedora hat. And you'll see what it looks like. And
I'll have to check it out.
And then when I get there, I'm going to take a selfie with me with the fedora hat on at the Tony Gwynn statue, and I'm going to post it on Facebook.
You know what?
Yeah, sure. Hit me with the selfie.
And I'm going to show Sean. The proper way to take a selfie. The proper way is to be looking.
It seems that the word selfie has only come about over the last year.
The proper way to take a selfie is not looking down where we can see your 16 million chins. It's looking up where we can see you stretched out.
I don't like taking selfies. I think selfies are dumb.
Hey, I'm just trying to look traditional here, you know? That's the thing.
And I'm going to have my sister take a picture with me and my dad at the Tony Gwynn statue with our fedora hats on.
Hey, let me ask you, are you going to bring any, listen, in all seriousness, are you going to bring any props? Because I know the Tony Gwynn statue around there has been flooded with so much.
You know what prop I'm going to bring? I'm going to bring my little mini recording cassette, or my little mini recorder, and I'm going to interview the fans and get their thoughts on Tony Gwynn.
Episode, that'll be great.
And bring it back to the radio show and play it on Monday. How smart is that? Not only will I be going to the game, but I'll be working for you fans as well.
Jeff Escow, the voice of the fan.
That's right.
Maybe you could have a Sports World Radio T-shirt on there. Yeah.
That's right. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll bump into some football players and stuff out there and get them to talk about Tony Gwynn.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's a good way to do it.
And, of course, hold on. You mentioned about Thursday. Thursday's a memorial.
Yes, Thursday's the memorial for Tony Gwynn. 7:19 p.m. San Diego time.
And you know what? That better be televised by MLB Network because they really dropped the
Well,
ball.
I'm praying to God it's going to be televised out here. So far, they don't have it on the channel freaking thing or who's a what's a.
Well, it better be televised.
I'm going to be pissed.
The buddy of mine who's listening and Skyping says Jeff has a weird voice, but it's a very nice voice.
It's a calming, soothing voice. And if you don't like that, I'll just knock your socks off.
Accent.
Oh, yeah, that's because I've been living in San Diego for 20-plus years. Listen, you could take the boy out of New York, but you can't take the New York out of the boy, okay?
Yeah, but at least you won't have to deal with snow when you're in San Diego.
No. Hey, I had to do that for 18 months when I was in Kansas City. It was like living in hell.
Hot fun in the summertime. There you go.
Yeah, and all the cicadas. Wee, screw them bastards.
So wait, are you going to
break?
break out the Sly and the Family Stone, Sean?
Yeah, hot fun in the
summertime.
Hey, Sean, I'm going to be
thinking.
Hey, Sean, I'm going to be thinking about that song when I'm wearing my fedora hat at the Padres game on Saturday night. Me and a fedora. I hope it only fits, man. You know, I hope it fits my head for Jiminy Cricket's sake.
What do you need? A large or an extra large there?
I don't have a big head. Come on, man. I got no hair. I'm a bald guy. I got no hair on my head. I don't need a big hat.
Hey, by the way, why don't you get a custom-made Padres jersey? You can get those.
Yeah, and it'll say on the back, Sports World Radio.
Cool. I have a custom-made Cub jersey.
Anything I get from now on, it's going to say Sports World Radio. Mr. Red Sox boy over there, Sean.
Yeah,
Mr. Boston.
Yeah, that's me.
Mr. Boston. If you get a new Red Sox jersey and you want to put a name on the back, you put Sports World Radio on the back. No more. Don't put your man. Don't put Sean. Sports World Radio on the back.
Sports World Radio. I can even do it with the Bruins or a Celtics or a Patriots.
Any apparel from now on, any jersey you buy from any of your teams, Sports World Radio on the back. Let's start advertising this bitch.
You know what? I can see
Encyclopedia Man and says, and the chin's flapping up and down. Make Frank watch WWE Money in the Bank.
You gotta be kidding me! Absolutely
That's
not.
what he said to me on Skype. He's Skyping me the whole time.
Hey,
do I get to actually make the matches? You know what? I think the WWE should hire me out. You know
on
what?
Friday's show.
What I would do, because I don't like how McMahon has ruined pro wrestling. I would start my own bed, and it would be the equivalent of what ECW.
On Fridays, okay, guys, hold on a second. On Friday's show, since the pay-per-view is on Sunday, I'm going to have Josh come in the second hour of the show, and me and Josh are going to do some WWE talk and make our predictions for Sunday.
By the way, that will put you to sleep.
No, it
Seriously.
won't. No, it won't.
Modern day WWE will put you to sleep.
Hey, Monday night.
You're going to be tired, dude.
Frank, Monday night was freaking awesome last night. Freaking Stephanie McMahon went swimming in a pool of pig slop. It was beautiful.
Well, that looked like something out of the Attitude Era.
It was,
I
man.
gotta check that out.
It was great, man. It was awesome. 5 broads got put in a pool of slop last night. It was great.
No, there's more Skype messages. Jade is saying, she's a buddy of mine. She goes, tell Jeff that he is loud and also Frank that he is loud. And I said, nah, they're just two entertainers. Oh, yeah, here's what Joshy said, the Encyclopedia Man. Paul Heyman ruined the logic of wrestling.
Is that your
Paul Heyman, dude? Paul Heyman is a genius when it comes to wrestling.
Hey, Sean, is your friend Jade a male or female?
Jade is a female,
Well,
and she's enjoying our show so much that
So she's hitting on you. So she's hitting on me via you.
Yeah, but she's enjoying the show so much right now.
I kinda like
and
that.
enjoys hearing that New York accent.
Okay, well,
I would like. Hold on. I would like to hear Josh. I would like to hear our own encyclopedia man interview Paul Heyman.
I would like to hear that too. Hey, listen, if you want to like our Facebook page, head on over to facebook.com/SportsWorldRadio. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/SportsWorldRadio. And also favorite our SportsWorldRadio.com page so you'll never miss a show. Because we do this bitch Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West. And if you live in Essential,
it is currently almost
Figure it
7
out for
o'clock.
yourself, I reckon. And there you go, Frank.
there you go, Frank.
Do I have to tell you what time it is, dude?
No, you don't,
No.
because you always get it wrong, because you always give the time that it is when I say it, and that's not the correct time we start the show, so you always do it wrong, you rat bastard. That's right. I'm calling you out on that. And on that note, our 2 hours is up. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back again tomorrow for another fun-filled, the fastest 2 hours of sports talk on the internet. Until then, my friends, remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. We will see you tomorrow. For Sean Mann, Frank Sprankle, I'm Jeff Escow. This has been Sports World Radio. Peace out, bitches.
Goodbye and enjoy the selfies.
Hey, boys, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, kid. So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?